Hello and welcome to this application. My name is Kutemwa Masafwa and I'm a second-year international student at Xavier University of Louisiana in New Orleans. So today we're talking about making that decision of your major. So personally for me, it took a while to make that decision because I have a lot of passions and a lot of interests. So it really was a hard decision to make. But now I'm at the point where I love what I'm doing and I'm very confident that I have found my field, the field that is for me. So I really want you to get to that point, which is why I'm making this video. So the first thing I want to say is that even though there's pressure, I know as you scroll through the Common App, they keep asking you what major, and that really is what put pressure on me to make that decision. But you also have to keep in mind that the undecided option is always there. You can always choose that you're undecided and you don't know what major you want to do, and you will not get accepted because of choosing the undecided option. That is not something that they can do. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to make that decision now. I know people who went a whole year of college without declaring a major. They were just like exploring different classes, trying different things, and then at the end of the year they made that decision just because they weren't really sure what they wanted to do. So and that takes us to the second thing, which is exploring. And there's definitely a way to do that without going to college first and spending that first year. I know that sounds very daunting, especially for us Africans. You don't want to just like spend the whole year just doing random things. I know that. That's another thing that you can do. For me, exploring was doing SAT subject tests. I know that they're not a thing anymore, but back then I had to choose which subject I wanted to do. So I chose chemistry. I tried out physics and bio. They did not work out. So that's what made me realize that I love chemistry. And that's another thing to keep in mind, is that high school level education is very different from college level. You might have loved biology in high school, but now going advanced is not something that you are interested in. So that's definitely something that you should consider. Don't just think about, oh, I love this in high school, let me do this. Like, also think about how the advanced level is going to be, how the field is, and other factors like that. So exploring for you might look like going through YouTube channels. I know a lot of people in fields or in majors who love to tell people about their experiences. That another, one disclaimer that I would give you though, is that some people like to generalize their personal experience, maybe project one negative thing that they have and say, oh, the field is like this. So it's very important that you watch different videos, get different perspectives from different people. But exploring is definitely a good way to just find where your passion is. And that's the third thing. I am all for passion. I would go for a field that doesn't make that much money, but I love. This is something that I'll be doing for the rest of my life, so might as well enjoy it. And college is not easy. I'm not saying it's hard, but it's not easy. So that's a decision that you have to make every day to say, I'm going to give my all to this. And it's definitely easier to do when you're doing something that you actually love. Some fields will take you years to be able to specialize and get to the goal that you want to get to. So I think going for something that you love I think it's a must do. I know not everyone thinks this way, so this is why I'm just giving this as an opinion. Find that passion, find that interest that's going to keep you going for all those years in school. And then that takes us to the next thing, is that there are so many options. Coming to the US is very special because it gives you way more versatility in education. And this is mostly because even the corporate field, let me say, is very diverse. So you have way more options than you would have in other countries, or from my experience personally. You might find a field that will be able to express a certain interest that you've had that you might not have been able to find somewhere else. So if you're traveling continents to come to the US, might as well use that opportunity. But then in as much as I love passions, you also have to be very realistic in how you think. For example, you might love a field like quantum computing, and it's something which is very advanced here in the US. And you might spend years here, get advanced, get experience and expertise in your field. But if you go back to a country that doesn't really have that field, that's a waste of your time and a waste of your expertise. So also think long term. Do you want to settle in the US? Do you want to go back home eventually? That's definitely something that you should consider. Or are you willing to move to a country which has an advanced field, in your interest or things like that? So also really think of that. And as you think long term, that's something that can also help you make that decision. Do you already know what kind of career you want? Would you want to be even in terms of, would you want to be in an office all day? Would you want to be moving around? Do you love meeting people? Do you know that, okay, I want to be an ophthalmologist? That would guide you and say, okay, so I need to do pre-med first and then medical school and then this. So yeah, that's an obvious example, but that can really help you to pinpoint where your interest is, where your passion is, and what kind of career that you want to have. So definitely think long term. What's your career vision? What would you want? Would you want to would you want to be in the same room all day? Would you want to move around? Or would you want to have room to think, come up with solutions to problems and things like that? Yeah. And then another thing is also think in terms of your strengths. I am a Christian, so I firmly believe that God is very intentional in what He puts in us. All those strengths that you have, all those passions, all those interests, I believe those are like keys which are meant to help you find where you're supposed to be. So I would definitely consider my strengths, think of what you're good at, and then factor that into your interests. And I believe that there's definitely a field that's able to combine all those things specifically for you. Yeah. For me, I'm now a chemistry major and a math minor. I love math a lot, and I didn't really consider studying math in college for some reason. I mean, I don't know why, but anyway, I'm now at the point where I'm combining those two, and I am loving what I'm doing. But minors are a whole different thing because I'm minoring in math. So if you want me to talk about minors, you can let me know in the comments down below. I would love to break down. And if you also want to know how my experience has been as a chemistry major, I would also love to let you know. So just let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, so as you make this decision, the last thing is that you have to keep in mind, like I said in the beginning, there's no pressure. You can as well choose a major and then change it once you get to college, I know I chose biology as my minor, but once I got here, I was like, no, biology is not for me. So yeah, it's not like when you change your major, they'll revoke your scholarship and be like, oh no, you lied to us. No, there's nothing like that. So as you pick your field, also just keep in mind that you'll be able to change it as you go. There's no pressure, which is one thing I love about education in the US. There's just way more versatility in the options and also in you making that decision. So I wish you all the best in your search. Be sure to explore and find that passion, and I will see you in the next video.